Hey there, what's up? Welcome to Concept Hunter. Today we're going to talk about Dynetzzle, which is like puzzle, just Dynetzzle. Instead, it's a very small game, only has 10 levels, but a really cool concept, which is what we love showing, and the entirety of it, design, art, as well as code, is done by, I'm going to try and read off his name and hopefully not mess it up, Vishnu Vedek Periyarth. Okay, that's a very elaborate name for my simple tongue. I hope I said that correctly. And before we really go into talking, let's look at the game. Let's just look at the goddamn game. A standard 6-sided die is a cube. It has 11 nets. The sum of the numbers on opposite faces of a die is 7. Okay, this is a die, a 6-sided die, very standard. It's always 7. That's how a die works. It's the basic style of a die. And this is one of the 11 nets of a die. This is a bit hard to understand unless you, in case you don't know it, but when you take a die and you want to open up to a plane, to something that's flat, because a die is 3-dimensional, when you want to open up to a plane, to something that's only 2-dimensional, and you can do that, there are 11 different ways in which you could do that. Okay, that's what he's trying to convey here. And you can see exactly how it looks, okay? Right here, and it's the color-coded things. It works very well. You can understand what you need to do. Now you move forward. Imagine a die from this given net and fill the white-colored faces with right numbers. Remember again, the sum of the numbers on opposite faces of a die should be 7. Numbers on black-colored faces are not changeable. You can add and change the numbers on white-colored faces by clicking it. So this is 3, that means that the opposite needs to fill up to 7, it needs to be 4, this is 2, this needs to be 5, 5, and the last one needs to be 6, and then we'll get, I'm going to silence the music from now on so that you can hear me talking a little bit better. So that's pretty much what you do in this game. Each color represents one net, okay? So we will start having a lot of different types of nets, and they're going to be in a lot of different, they're going to be inside each other. And it creates a state where there's only one solution for each level. Okay, so it's sort of like, it's a numbers game, right? It's a number puzzle. It's very similar to Sudoku. Okay, Sudoku, some people for some reason think that Sudoku has more than one solution. But Sudoku is a standard puzzle, okay? Puzzles have one solution. There is exactly one solution to a Sudoku. Whatever it may be, whatever you get in there, there's only one solution. And this also has only one solution, always. So you just kind of gotta just do it, okay? You start this, because in this die we have 3 full faces, we can fill out all the other faces because we know exactly what they're going to be. There's this pairing that happens because one face only tells us about its opposite face. And this has to be 5 and 6. This one has to be 1, and this has to be 4, and we're done. We move forward. Now, there isn't much more for me to say here about the gameplay itself. The way that it evolves, there are only 10 levels. I finished all of them. The gameplay itself doesn't exactly evolve. There isn't anything to evolve here. There's just more nets, and they're intertwined, and you just kind of gotta solve them. You only look at a specific net. In this case, I'm only going to look at blue. I'm going to do whatever I can about blue. In this case, since I have 2 faces, okay, it only tells me about an additional 2 faces, and then I'll have 1 face that I don't know anything about. So 1 to 6, 4 to 3. And then this face has to be 2 and 5, but I don't know in what order. So I switch faces, and now I'm going to look at I switch nets, and then I'm going to look at the yellow one, okay? This is 3, this has to be 4, this is 1, this has to be 6, and this is 2. The 5 needs to be there, and because now I filled in the blue one with the 5 over here, it is yellow as well as blue, so it refers to this, and this has to be 2, and we can move forward. That's pretty much what the game has to offer. And I have to say that it's quite a lot of fun because it's completely a spatial, is that the correct word that I'm trying to use? Puzzle, because you have to assemble the cube. The way I do it, in most cases, though once you get the hang of it, you could just see it in the different nets. What I do is just pick a specific face and build the cube. Okay, what I do is build the cube. So if I choose this face and I just build it around the cube, this will wrap around, and this will wrap around. These will be opposites, so this has to be 4. 4. That's the way I see it in my head. And I think first of all, it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed every single one of the levels, though it is completely repetitive and there's no difference. The gameplay doesn't exactly evolve. You just keep on doing it and keep on doing it, and there's more to do in each level. That was okay because the game was so short and I just enjoyed doing this. I think this very specific type of gameplay is incredibly strong for children. I think as an educational game, it is incredibly powerful. And I usually don't like educational games because the gaming elements are usually really obstructed by the educational elements. You really try and educate so much that you kind of lose a little bit of the game, or something that's incredibly simplistic. And for children, that it works because they can do something very simple for a long amount of time, something that's very repetitive. But this was actually fun for me. This was fun for me, even though there's very little in terms of thinking and puzzle solving. It's very simple to do, but it was a lot of fun. So as an educational game, this is a huge winner. You can clearly go a long way and think about a lot of different types of interactions with the cubes, because the spatial element is always going to be there. The thing that you have to assemble the cube in your head is always going to be there. In case you're having trouble, and you can think about other things. Instead of 2 faces will always have to be 7. You could put a lot of different things there that will help be an educational game in different other facets. I'm not going to start naming stuff, but there's so many things that you could do here. Maybe evens and odds, maybe the alphabet, A and then B, C is then D, or something like that. There could be a million different things in terms of educational games that you could do with this. And the gameplay is actually a lot of fun. If it'll evolve and change, if what I have to combine in terms of the faces facing each other will change each time, I think you'll get a lot more replayability. The biggest problem, and well, the only problem that I found with this game, is the fact that if I fill out numbers, let's say, because you start out when there's nothing, right? You start out when there's nothing. And if I fill out numbers, and it only happened to me in one level, in level 9 it happened to me, no particular reason. I filled out numbers, okay, it doesn't matter what the numbers were, and I filled out the last number, and I didn't win the level. So I didn't win the level, and I didn't know what to do. I had to go over each and every one of the nets, okay, each and every one of the nets, and try and figure out, is this net incorrect? Seems correct to me. Is this net incorrect? Seems correct to me. And I went over all of them, and each one of them seemed correct. Now, I'm pretty sure I was wrong. Clearly, the level wasn't over. It wasn't a bug. It was me being wrong. But I had no idea what to do. And after going over a second time and not really finding the error of my ways, I restarted the entire level. I just restarted the level, started from scratch, and then when I filled in the last one, I did it. I succeeded. When that happens, I'm not entirely sure of how to fix that problem. That if you fill out a complete level, you don't know what was your error. And I think the best way to do it might be to give you, once everything is filled out, and only once everything is filled out, if it's not completed, then have a little bit of a hint button. Have a button appear that allows you to highlight maybe the net that is a problem, or something like that. Because if that's just what comes to mind very quickly. Because if you filled out every number and you don't know what's wrong, then you will probably restart the level. That's how I feel. Again, this needs to be playtest. I don't know how other people feel, but that's how I felt. That's what happened to me specifically, and I do think that it is a problem that I should probably restart and just start over from scratch. One last thing that I want to say about this game, you could probably procedurally generate infinite levels. Since there's only 10, I'm assuming you made them, which is wonderful and beautiful. They're also static. I mean, it's always the same. You could procedurally generate this. It's not going to be that easy, but it's not going to be that hard to procedurally generate an infinite amount of levels. And then once you put in different mechanics that flow in, you could have infinite replayability, and this could be a wonderful educational tool for school kids. I think it'll be really, really great. And it was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's called Dynetzzle. I don't usually cover educational games, but this one just got to me, and I finished it, and I had a smile on my face throughout the entire time. So it's a wonderful thing. Again, it's by Vishnu VP. I'm just going to call you Vishnu VP because it's easier than trying to read off your entire name, sir. But great job. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.